Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this.
Marc Guehi sends Liverpool transfer hint ahead of January window. Marc Guehi has declared God has a plan for me after his summer switch to Liverpool fell through. Meanwhile, his Crystal Palace teammate Maxence Lacroix has disclosed that the South London outfit's Christian players began praying together last season during their remarkable FA Cup run. Guehi watched a £35 million deadline day transfer to Anfield collapse when the Eagles failed to secure a suitable replacement and called off the move. The England centre-half's contract expires at the end of the campaign and he has informed the club he won't be penning fresh terms. Palace face the prospect of losing their captain for nothing unless they cash in during the winter transfer window. WHILST Europe's elite will be circling like vultures as they can negotiate in January for a free transfer when Guehi becomes available in the summer. When questioned by Sky Sports News about the botched Liverpool move, the former Chelsea defender commented, "I think everyone has this perception that it was difficult. Actually, it wasn't difficult. It wasn't difficult at all. Because when you're focused on what's the most important thing, it becomes easy. I know that God has a plan for me. And whatever that plan will be, will come into fruition at some point. But the goal and the focus has always been playing football and trying to do the best I can. And fortunately for me, I get to do it with people like Max." Guehi's father serves as a church minister whilst Lacroix is also a devout Christian who spearheads pre-match prayers. Yeah, we started last year, began Lacroix, who joined from Wolfsburg in August 2024 to reunite with his previous boss Oliver Glasner. So we say, okay, we have a lot of Christians here. So why don't we put games in the hands of God, of Jesus Christ, and we say, okay, let's do it. And we start to do it. And at first it was complicated. But after 2 or 3 games, we start to see the fruits, and I think last year was an unbelievable season and everyone saw that we had the grace on us. So we said, okay, let's play for Jesus Christ, and this is what we do. Guehi chimed in. We have faith in Jesus Christ, and it's about exercising our faith. And as he said, even at the beginning, it was tough, but thankfully we continued doing that type of stuff, continued praying, continued having that fellowship with each other, and the results came. But it's not even about that. It's about just being together with your brothers, and showing that faith and showing that we want to play for his glory. And given all the glory and everything that we do, whether the things are going well or not, doing the same, so it's important that we just carry on doing what we are doing. Mohamed Salah pictured leaving Liverpool training ground just hours after launching attack. Mohamed Salah was pictured leaving Liverpool's training ground on Sunday following his sensational outburst a day earlier. Liverpool's talisman hit the headlines after accusing the Merseyside club of throwing him under the bus. The Egyptian forward also claimed that he no longer has a relationship with manager Arne Slot after being benched for another Premier League game. And there are now serious question marks over the player's future at Anfield. Salah's comments were made after Liverpool conceded a 96th-minute equaliser to Leeds at Elland Road, forcing the Reds to settle for a 3-3 draw. Slot's players are struggling to pick up wins in the Premier League this season, finding themselves in 8th. Salah was pictured driving out of Liverpool's AXA training centre in Kirkby, England, in his Rolls-Royce Spectre on Sunday. It's unclear at this stage what has been said between the player and the club following his bombshell interview with reporters on Saturday. It understands that every member of Liverpool's squad was at the training ground on Sunday as part of a standard recovery day following a game. But it's obvious that Salah's outburst was the biggest talking point from that 3-3 draw. I think it is very clear that someone wanted me to get all of the blame, Salah told reporters, including Matt Addison from YNWA, after Saturday's game. I said many times before that I had a good relationship with the manager, and all of a sudden, we don't have any relationship. I don't know why, but it seems to me, how I see it, that someone doesn't want me in the club. It seems like the club has thrown me under the bus. That is how I am feeling. I think it is very clear that someone wanted me to get all of the blame. This club, I will always support it. My kids will always support it. I love the club so much and I always will. If the situation is not acceptable to me, to be fair, I don't get it. It's like I'm being thrown more under the bus. I don't think I'm the problem. I have done so much for this club. I don't have to go every day fighting for my position because I earned it. I am not bigger than anyone, but I earned my position. It's football. It is what it is. Salah is set to go to the Africa Cup of Nations on December 15th, as Egypt tries to win the prestigious international trophy. Yet it's unclear whether the veteran star will return to Anfield once the tournament concludes or seek a transfer. It's believed teams in Saudi Arabia are interested in signing the player, who only agreed a new contract with Liverpool until June 2027, considering the severity of his comments on Saturday. Liverpool, Slot, and Salah will need to find a resolution to this matter sooner rather than later. First troubling sign Richard Hughes and Arne Slot are at ODDS. Arne Slot was Richard Hughes' first major hire at Liverpool. But are the two actually on the same page? Richard Hughes took over as Liverpool sporting director in June 2024, but in truth, he was appointed months before that. His first major decision was to hire Arne Slot as head coach, an incredible decision, it turns out, as the Dutchman delivered the Premier League title in his debut campaign. But there are some caveats there. For one, Hughes didn't actually make any major player decisions in that first season. He signed Georgiu Mamardashvili from Valencia but left him on loan there. While Federico Chiesa was an opportunistic signing right at the end of the window, that was it. One player who wasn't added to the squad and another that Slot didn't end up using. It wasn't exactly easy to gauge how they'd operate together. That put a lot of pressure on the summer, with Liverpool deciding to go all out with their spending. They twice broke their transfer record, signed new fullbacks for record amounts each, and moved on a large chunk of the squad. So how has it gone? Well, the first signs are actually awful. Liverpool have been atrocious at times this season, suffering their worst period of league form since the 1950s, and now with the way Slot is talking, we're seeing some suggestions that he may not be on the same page as Hughes. The Alexander Isak problem. Liverpool's biggest signing of the summer was Alexander Isak. He's now the most expensive transfer in British football history, and he has not hit the ground running. Now, part of that was because he didn't have a preseason with Newcastle United. That was always going to make things difficult as he played catch-up with the rest of the team. But is that the only reason? Not according to Slot, who talked this week about having the wrong kinds of players around the Swede. The low block from opponents makes it harder for him compared to his time at Newcastle, but I think it is also him adjusting to his teammates and his teammates adjusting to him, said Slot, per The Guardian. But it is obvious and clear that we have not the profile of Newcastle's Jacob Murphy, for example, available at this moment at this time. With all due respect to Jacob Murphy, who is a very good player, you'd like to think Isak would be able to operate with the likes of Mo Salah, Florian Wirtz, and Cody Gakpo around him. So it begs the question, if Isak depends on having Murphy types around him, why on earth didn't Liverpool move for one? Slot clearly believes he doesn't have the right profile of player around his most expensive signing. Now, is this something he has only just discovered or something he felt all along? Either way, it doesn't reflect well on Liverpool for spending an incredible amount on a player who their head coach doesn't believe has the right teammates around him. Either you sign the right profile, too, or you don't sign the player. Someone plainly made a mistake there, then, if Slot is right. Marc Guehi gives surprising verdict on failed summer transfer to Liverpool as England star runs down contract at Crystal Palace. Marc Guehi has given a surprising verdict on his failed summer switch from Crystal Palace to Liverpool. The defender looked set for a transfer deadline day move to the Premier League title holders, but the Eagles pulled the plug on the deal at the 11th hour. Now, the England international has reflected on what might have been for him amid ongoing links with the Reds. Guehi's uncertain future. Guehi was primed to join Arne Slot's side this summer, only for Palace to decide against completing the £35 million $46.6 million deal as they couldn't find a replacement for the 25-year-old. He has since been linked with Real Madrid, but Liverpool are not giving up on the former Chelsea man, but with his contract set to expire next summer, Liverpool risk losing him to a rival in 2026 on a free transfer. Incidentally, Palace boss Oliver Glasner recently denied claims that he would leave the FA Cup holders if Guehi was sold. He told reporters earlier this month, "I told you with Marc Guehi. Everybody said I threatened to step down. It's completely wrong. I just said if you sell Marc Guehi and we don't have the right replacement, we could struggle. If you are fine with this for Crystal Palace, not for Oliver Glasner." Never, for Crystal Palace, sell him. If you don't want that situation, you have to keep him, and the chairman decided that Marc stays. It's the same here, I give my advice, but it's never a wish. It's nothing to do with we have to buy players so that Oliver Glasner signs a new contract. It's just if we want to progress in the Premier League environment. Guehi responds to Liverpool links. England star Guehi has claimed that God has a plan for me following the collapse of his Liverpool move, and it seems having teammates such as Maxence Lacroix, who is also a Christian, is helping him be at peace on the matter. He told YNWA, "I think everyone has this perception that it was difficult. Actually, it wasn't difficult. It wasn't difficult at all, because when you're focused on what's the most important thing, it becomes easy. I know that God has a plan for me, and whatever that plan will be, will come into fruition at some point. But the goal and the focus has always been playing football and trying to do the best I can, and fortunately for me, I get to do it with people like Max." Former Liverpool man shares blunt Mohamed Salah theory as replacement claim emerges. Mohamed Salah went on an explosive tirade after Liverpool's draw with Leeds United, and David James believes his old club have already lined up a replacement. Salah delivered in bombshell interview at Elland Road in which he accused Liverpool of throwing him under the bus and said his relationship with Arne Slot is over. The forward also claimed he would say goodbye to Liverpool supporters at next Saturday's Premier League game with Brighton and Hove Albion at Anfield. Salah was named as a substitute for the third successive match in Saturday's thrilling 3-3 draw at Elland Road, and former Reds goalkeeper James, speaking before Salah's interview, believes his old club already have a replacement for the forward lined up. Liverpool didn't have to sign Mo Salah and Mo Salah didn't have to sign for Liverpool, the former England international told Casanova. I mean, in the end, the deal that he signed would have been right for both parties. And I think if there came a time, and I know Liverpool aren't unique in this, but most of the reasoning behind signing players will be the numbers they're producing. So you could envisage a situation where most numbers aren't what Liverpool need. And if there were a potential suitor somewhere else, then I'm sure with conversation, because Mo does have a say in it, that Liverpool would be willing to let him go under contract. I don't think I could see a situation where Mo's going to hang around just to get paid. I think there would be a situation where, through conversation, because I know the dialogue with Liverpool is always really good, that the two parties would sit down and discuss the future. However, if Mo starts doing what Liverpool would like him to do and Mo I'm sure would like to do and starts scoring loads of goals, then their hand could be forced by a potential suitor. Because whatever club is interested, psychologically as they're the ones with the money, they may make an offer that Liverpool can't refuse. I also think that Liverpool will have someone already lined up to replace Mo Salah. Salah has been linked with joining Cristiano Ronaldo in the Saudi Pro League. Al Hilal and Al Ittihad are just two of the clubs who have been named as possible destinations. And James believes Mo's only 33. Cristiano Ronaldo, I know he's playing in Saudi, but he's only been doing it for a few years. But the guy is 40, he's still scoring at international level. Mo, it has been well versed about how fit he is. People keep talking about losing pace, but I don't think he has from the numbers that I'm told are the same as they were before. The one thing I would say is probably the defenders he's playing against are getting quicker, so it's not Mo, it's just the opposition. But at 33 years old, it's true that the guy's got another contract in him easily. Liverpool, most likely Salah transfer revealed as FSG will accept offer in January for another Red Star, according to reports. Mohamed Salah and Ibrahima Konate could leave Liverpool in January as FSG would accept an offer on one condition: Salah's future is uncertain heading into the winter transfer window. Last season, Salah was one of the best players in the Premier League as he helped Liverpool win their 20th title and earn a new 2-year contract, but he has suffered a major fall from grace this term. The veteran forward has been ineffective in most of Liverpool's matches this season and he has dropped to the bench for their last 3 Premier League games. He was brought on against Sunderland, but he did not play any minutes against West Ham and Leeds United. And Salah made it clear after Liverpool's 3-3 draw against Leeds United that he is far from happy with his current situation as he sensationally hit out at head coach Arne Slot. Salah said, "I have done so much for this club down the years and especially last season," the Liverpool legend said. Now I'm sitting on the bench and I don't know why. It seems like the club has thrown me under the bus. That is how I am feeling. I think it is very clear that someone wanted me to get all of the blame. Therefore, Salah looks increasingly likely to leave Liverpool at some point in 2026, and he could seal a long-awaited move to the Saudi Pro League in January. Konate could also leave Liverpool in January, as he is in the final year of his contract and has been heavily criticized for his poor form this season. Football Insider have reported that the Reds have set their price to sell Konate in January if they land a suitable replacement, as they would accept an offer. The report explains, Liverpool will accept an offer of around £15 million for Ibrahima Konate in January if they can sign a replacement, sources have told Football Insider. Marc Guehi was extremely close to becoming a Liverpool player in the summer, and a strong interest in the defender remains at Anfield.
Thank you for watching. Like and comment, subscribe.